So I want to show you a very fast and easy natural way for you to lose weight. And this method that I'm going to mention to you in a minute is basically doing something that is requiring the least effort and giving you the biggest weight loss results that you can get. And who doesn't want the easiest things to lose weight? I'm sure everyone out there wants to, because most people don't like doing hard things. So this is by basically pushing your first meal of the day to later in the day. And this is basically called intermittent fasting. And you do this every single day. And the method that I promote is the 16-8 method, which means for around 16 hours you don't eat, and for 8 hours you do eat during that time frame. So basically, we are following what our ancestors more so would have done in their natural habitat. Before the Western world existed, where we've got stores everywhere and we've got access to food like at all times, every single day, each day of the week. So yeah, what you're doing is like our natural ancestors. They would go through stages of eating loads and loads of food when they had access to it, and then they go through stages of famine where they had no access to food, and they'd have to go and search out food in various different ways, whether they were hunting animals or they were foraging fruit or vegetables and other different various things. And when they are in this fasting state, and when we are, and this is shown through scientific research, when you don't eat for 6 to 8 hours, that's when it burns through all the glucose in your blood, and then it burns through all the stored glucose known as glycogen within the liver and the muscles. And once it's burnt through that, then it starts to use your body fat as fuel. So this is why it's so good for weight loss. And this is why so many people don't lose weight, because they're eating multiple meals a day and then they're snacking throughout the day. So it's like, when are you ever going to burn through all the glucose and glycogen to tap into the fat reserves and burn it? Never. It's just not going to occur. So basically, you're doing something that is the most natural way to lose weight, and it's free as well. And unlike fad diets where people stay on them for short periods of time and then they get insane cravings, because most of them are just calorie restriction diets and you're just not meeting your mind and body's fuel needs with the food that it needs. It's like if you don't put enough fuel in a car, it's going to break down and not work. And that's what starts to happen with our bodies and our mind when we're not eating enough. And then you get these insane cravings and you go on crazy binges. And a lot of people, yeah, they lose weight on these fad diets for a little bit. Then they come and binge out and then they regain all the weight that they lost, and a lot of time they gain even more. So yeah, it's not sustainable long term, but this is. So I do promote the intermittent fasting method known as the 16-8 method, which means you fast for 16 hours a day and you have an eating window of 8 hours a day. And from what I've found is this is one of the easiest ones to stick to, because there are other ones where you do calorie restrict, and yeah, I just don't advise that for reasons that I've mentioned. So for example, what you do is you wake up in the morning, you don't eat until 10 AM, and then you can eat from 10 AM till 6 PM. So that's a lot of time to be eating. And all you do is the amount of calories that you'd normally eat within a day when not intermittent fasting, you eat it within that 8 hour period. So you're just eating a lot more calories within a shorter space of time. And what I will say is, when you're new to this, you may feel a little bit weak or a little bit shaky because your body's getting used to burning fat as fuel. But over about a 2-week period, you will start to feel really, really good, and you will have a lot of energy because people have so much fat on their body, and fat is actually a really good source of fuel. It actually starts to create ketones when you're in this fasting state and burning fat for fuel, which is like the brain fuel for the mind. It's even been shown through scientific research to be better than glucose. And it's shown to have things such as protective effects on the brain. It also has been shown to help reduce and prevent things such as Alzheimer's and dementia, which there's so many people that end up with this across the whole globe. And it also gets your brain to produce new neurons and other different various factors as well. So it's giving you some additional benefits alongside the weight loss benefits. And what I will say is, for example, my dad started doing this intermittent fasting when I mentioned it to him about 9 weeks ago. My dad is quite a thin person, not as thin as me, but he has one issue, which he had a bit of excess weight on his belly region that he'd gained tens and tens of years ago. And he tried so many different fad diets and exercise regimes over the year and never got to truly remove all of the body fat that he wanted to, so you could really see his six-pack, basically. So yeah, he found within 1 week of doing this, he dropped an inch on his waist, which is just like, wow, that is absolutely amazing. And what I will say is that you don't even necessarily need to change your diet at all. I'm always promoting a whole food, plant-based, vegan diet, but I understand not everyone wants to do that. And from what I've learned from other big YouTubers who promote intermittent fasting is, even when they get people to do this and they don't change the diet and they're still eating crap, like for example, Kino Body, a big YouTuber, he was getting one of his clients to do the intermittent fasting that had a lot of excess weight, finding it really, really easy, loved it. And I remember he said in one of the videos, for lunch he ate like steak and mashed potato, and for dinner he was eating fajitas, but he was still dropping weight like rapidly. So yeah, it works absolutely amazingly, and there's so much scientific research to back intermittent fasting up and why it's so good, and how that 3 meals a day is actually very, very unhealthy for us, and it's just something that the food industry has pushed onto people and get them to believe that they need 3 meals a day so they can increase their profits. And one last thing I'll mention is, if you're doing high intensity interval training, this is going to give you even greater weight loss benefits, because when you're in the fasting state and you do high intensity interval training, it is burning your body fat as fuel like really, really rapidly. So if you want to maximize the weight loss benefits, then I highly advise you do some research into HIIT training and intermittent fasting. And what I would say is, when you first get into fasting and doing exercise, do more gentler, light exercise and build your way up to more high intensity interval training. And I will actually put a video link down below from Dr. Mike Adams on John Bergman's channel, where he's talking about HIIT training and the weight loss benefits when using it combined with intermittent fasting, and he talks about the other benefits it gives you as well. So I highly recommend you check that out. It's a very good informational video on this subject. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll get back as soon as possible. I love answering your questions, and if you like the video, like it down below, share this with anyone that you think would benefit greatly from what I've shared with you in this video today. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below to receive more videos from me on a regular basis, talking about how you can burn the excess weight that you have on your body that you may be looking to lose in the most healthiest, natural ways, how you can get to a point of living a sickness and disease-free life full of an abundance of energy so you can do everything that you want to in this life. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.